Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about The Northman. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. This movie is directed by. Gotta find the casting crew. Here we go. Robert Eggers. He has made some. He's made two movies prior to this, both very interesting movies. The Witch and The Lighthouse. Now, I've seen The Witch, but I have not seen The Lighthouse. But from what I've heard, The Lighthouse is excellent, and The Witch is excellent. Although The Witch is definitely not for anyone. I can tell you that right now. But it seems like this guy has quite a bit of clout amongst movie lovers. So with these two movies, so he probably already has a fan base already, and this is without doubt his biggest movie yet. So yeah, so he's had a good track record so far with these two movies. So I would consider that a pro. I mean, they're willing to put his name all over the poster like three times. So clearly he must be good, or it must be like, you have to pay attention to his name, right? So yeah, the director, his last two movies being critical smashes, I would consider that to be a pro. So that's pro number one. Pro number two, the cast. The cast is mostly well known. We got Alexander Skarsgård, our main man, Mr. Tarzan from the Tarzan movie that some people thought was a legitimately thought was a remake of the Disney Tarzan movie, even though it was not, but whatever. That movie I thought would be a disaster. I really did. I thought it would be an absolute bomb, but it managed to do okay. It managed to survive. So, there was that. And then recently, last year, he did Godzilla vs. Kong, and that was the first big pandemic hit. So, yeah, he's definitely a recognizable face, I would say. And then we also got Nicole Kidman, we got Anna Taylor Joy, we got Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe. I mean, like, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, they're legends at this point. They've been around for ages. They've been in a lot of work. They have a lot of clout, especially Willem Dafoe. I mean, I mean, hell, Willem Dafoe, he was in The Lighthouse, and Anna Taylor Joy, she was in The Witch. So this is kind of like a reunion of sorts. But looking at Anna Taylor Joy, I mean, she's had some hits, but hasn't been like super great. But she's definitely has some clout, to her name. I would say definitely, and hell, she's gonna be in the Mario movie as Princess Peach. So I can't wait to see what that looks like. I guess I can go over Nicole Kidman. She's been like all the movies. Ugh. Ever since I believe was it Batman Forever? Yes, it was Batman Forever. Yep. Is that she had like several movies with Tom Cruise. The last one was like Eyes Wide Shut. There's the others. Cold Mountain, Stepford Wise, that bad Bewitched movie, Happy Feet, that infamous Golden Compass movie. Da, 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 da. She's been in a lot of stuff, so she's definitely a recognizable face. Aquaman, so she got into the superhero verse. Ethan Hawke, been in a lot of stuff too. Way too much. I mean, really became well known after Training Day. Then after that, his most major movies. Looking at here, The Sinister. There's the first Purge, not the original Purge. Boyhood was a big one. Was a very notable one. A lot of stuff. That's a Magnificent Seven movie. He was in Valerian. The heck, I didn't know that. And he's gonna be in the Black Phone in a few months. Not to mention he's on Disney Plus, in the MCU and Moon Knight. Might as well mention that. And then Willem Dafoe. What can I say about this man that hasn't been said already? Absolute legend, this guy is. I mean, he's Norman Osborn. He's the Green Goblin, the OG Spider-Man villain. Definitely one of the best for performances in a superhero movie ever because of how much he committed to the role. And not to mention, he gave us the iconic meme, I'm something of a scientist myself. And because of that, he has my seal of approval of forever. So yeah, he's also been just a lot of stuff, just endless amount of movies here. it's kind of it's kind of overwhelming. As I mentioned, he was also in The Lighthouse too, and No Way Home, where they mentioned the meme directly. So yeah, the cast here is recognizable definitely, and I believe that will help the movie quite a bit. So recognizable cast, pro. Another pro is that reviews are very, very strong. Last I checked, it's like an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audience score isn't as high, but it's still decent enough. So great reviews, good word of mouth. Pro. Another pro is that when it comes to competition, at least direct competition, there's really no other movie in the marketplace like this right now. I mean, I guess there's Fantastic Beasts 3, but that movie is just going down the toilet as we speak. And the last action movie we've had, at least R-rated action movie we've had, was Ambulance, and that tanked hard. So when it comes to like direct competition, there really isn't any. So it has a good 2 weeks to live before Doctor Strange 2 kills everything that came out in April. So um yeah, so when it comes to like direct competition, there really isn't much. Well, I guess if we're talking about the same audience, there's Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, but those are two completely different genres. So yeah, lack of extreme competition is a pro in my book. Another pro is Thursday preview numbers are good. They're the best out of the whole weekend. Uh, and apparently it's better than a comparable movie. Some people compare it to The Green Knight, which I think is somewhat reasonable considering the type of movies they are. Yeah, The Green Knight. I have to find it. I believe this is it. Yeah, this is it. Green Knight from A24. Green Knight. Its preview numbers. This came out in summer too, so at least this one did. That did 750,000 in previews, and that came out during the summer. So Northman is in a better state than that, at least in comparison to that movie. So I would consider that a pro. Just decent-ish preview numbers for the movie this is. That's a pro. Um, Anything else I can mention as a pro? Anything else that can qualify as a pro? I can't think of anything. So I'm gonna move on to the cons. So the big con for this movie, oh well, I guess I can mention the advertising. Focus, was it Focus Features? I believe that's from them. Yeah, which is technically a division within Universal. They're part of the same group. Well, actually, Universal owns Focus, but yeah, they've been pushing this movie quite hard as well. I mean, they are not sleeping on this movie. They're not sleeping on this or the bad guys. So that's a pro, definitely. But when we get to the cons, I think the big problem this movie has is that it's obviously not going to have very wide appeal. It's only going to appeal to a certain group of people, and that's not great, especially for a movie that cost between 70 and 90 million dollars. That's not cheap at all. I mean, you only spend that type of money if you know you're going to make it back, and with this, I don't think it's going to make it back. I think maybe Robert Eggers bit off a bit more than he can chew when it comes to handling budgets. So yeah, I think just somewhat niche appeal. I mean, I know Vikings can be popular. I know there's plenty of TV shows about Vikings that are very popular. I think there's one that's just straight up called Vikings. I know there's a Netflix series about Vikings too. So Vikings are popular, but they're not. blockbuster popular unless dragons are involved or they're animated. Okay, with How to Train Your Dragon, that is it. That is the highest we're gonna get when it comes to successful Viking movies, and I don't think this is gonna match that at all. So, relatively niche appeal, a limited audience appeal. That's a con in my book. Another con is that the weekend is just crowded overall. Maybe not in terms of direct competition, but just the amount of movies out there. I mean, there's The Bad Guys, there's Sonic 2, there's Fantastic Beasts 3, there's Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, there's Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's a lot. And people only have so much money to spend. And I don't know if this is going to be their first choice. So, yeah, just a crowded marketplace is definitely a con for this movie. So that's con number two. Um, what else? Trying to think of other cons, like some serious cons. Well, I already mentioned how Viking movies are just kind of, they don't do that great unless they're from DreamWorks. So I can't think of anything else really, at least off the top of my head. So yeah, I think that's it. Although there are only two big cons, but those two cons are massive. They can be very detrimental for this movie. So, but anywho, yeah. So opening weekend, judging by its preview number, I'm going to assume this movie is going to be front loaded considering the type of movie it is, type of genre. Actually, I should mention this. R-rated movies have not done great in the last few years at all. I mean, the biggest one we've had is like Halloween Kills, and that's it. That's literally it. I mean, hell, this month we had Ambulance, and that bombed hard. So, yeah. That's a bad omen. I might as well mention. I forgot to mention this in The Bad Guys, but since this is Focus division within Universal, I might as well mention it now. Universal's had a pretty shit year so far. I mean, has Focus released any movies this year besides this? I'm gonna check. Um, what do they have? Gotta go through this whole list. I think they haven't really released anything. Oh yeah, these movies, well, they didn't do great. But when it comes to Universal as a whole, it's ugly. I mean, the 355, that was a disaster. Redeeming Love, that underperformed. Marry Me underperformed. Ambulance bombed. They haven't had a hit, and Universal as a whole hasn't had a hit since Sing 2. So that's very bad. But I feel The Bad Guys will break that streak before this does. I feel it. That's what I think is gonna happen. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Because I forgot to mention it in The Bad Guys. So yeah, opening weekend, I'm going to say, between 10 and 15 is where I think this is gonna land, judging by that preview number. And it's total 25 to 30 million, I think. I think this will be the biggest hit of Robert Eggers' career, I can tell you that, but with a budget as steep as this, I don't. Its overall financial chances don't look very good, which is kind of a shame because I've heard this movie is very good. But that's what happens sometimes. Good movies bomb, bad movies succeed. Happens too much. It's very depressing. But anywho, yeah, that's The Northman. Now, one last movie to talk about: Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and then that's it for the weekend. Then next week I do Memory, and then we're off to the summer season with Doctor Strange 2. So look forward to that. But yeah, anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage of all previous prediction videos I made for like all the 2022 major movies, even the ones that are not super mainstream friendly, like say X or Everything Everywhere All at Once, movies like that. I've covered them. So you want to watch any of those prediction videos, go right ahead. There's also box office, the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I didn't cover the Northman once, so just want to mention that. At least I'm pretty sure I didn't. But yeah, I've made like 3 canceled episodes like 1 week. Part 6, 116, 117, 118, all about different things. You want to watch those episodes, all the others, all 118 of them. A good 2 years of content. You just want to like binge watch it, go right ahead. I recommend you do that. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. April recap will come out beginning of May, right before Doctor Strange 2, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I've done on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.